game magazines. We all loved them. In the 80s and in the 90s. It was the only source of information of cool pictures to look at and games to come. There were no internet back then as we have today. And there's plenty of games magazines out in the world to choose from. But we're going to focus on this Danish magazine called Computer. We're going to look what's in the magazine of products and stuff and games, and the person who started the whole thing and who did more than just this magazine. You will be surprised of how important this magazine really is and how it touched the world. Stick around and find out. Now, why should we care about old game magazines? I mean, they're old, they're obsolete. I will tell you why. Each magazine company will have exclusive interview with all of these companies and photos you've never seen before. Now, the magazine is showing us and guiding us with programmers, graphics design, sound design, and games developments, something for everyone to enjoy. And of course, the most important thing is all the pictures of the games and the games to come. That's why we love this magazine. Now, it's not just about this magazine here, it's about the person behind the magazine that's actually interesting. But let's look at the history of this magazine and see where it started. It started with a guy named Ivan Silverson. Now, he worked for another magazine company called OsWald and Data, but while he was there, he was learning the trades of how to run a magazine company. Now, he was only there for 8 months, but he figured out how all this works. So he went out to start his own company and he called it, and yes, you guessed it, Computer. And he made himself as the editor-in-chief. And the focus is mostly going to be about Commodores and Amiga computers. And game, of course. Let's look at the first issue. 1985. Issue number 1. Now, looking inside of this magazine here, most of them are just black and white, and only a few of the pages have color. Now, to be fair, this was the first issue, and printing out color costs more money. So let's try another magazine and see what we can find. Ah, that's more like it. How to digitize pictures into the computer by using a black and white camera and using a color wheel. I'm going to try to take a picture by setting the camera to black and white, and I'm going to use red, blue, green filters in front of the camera. And then we have to add the colors onto the pictures in the computer. And then we're going to combine the colors together and the contrast, and then we have a beautiful picture. Nice. It didn't take them long to figure out what it else could be used for. And some fun experiments. Getting pictures into the computer back then was seen as an amazing technology. Let's see what else is in here. Wow, look at that. Back then, a 20 megabyte hard disk cost $800. Whew, that's a lot of pet computers. Ah, Barbarian 2. That's a nice sword she has. And yes, this is a video game. Then the magazine shows us the next evolution of getting video into the computer, where you can edit it and manipulate it, and a lot of companies are taking advantage of this to do commercial work. This is where it's going to be used for a lot of music videos.
Only Amiga.
Only Amiga. Only Amiga.
Only Amiga.
Only Amiga. What a great time it was to be alive. And slowly crawling up to cinema for professional filmmakers. Even in the game industry, like Mortal Kombat here, they took advantage of this. Each character filmed behind a gray background due to the background needs to work with the character, and this will take painstakingly a long time to cut out. The magazine has now been out there for 3 years, and he has built a huge network. Now that's the advantage when you have your own magazine company. And he's interviewed a lot of interesting people like game developers, software, engineers, all kinds of stuff. And then he gets a phone call that's going to change his entire life. He gets a phone call from Nordic Film, that's a film company. And they asked him if he knows anyone who knows how to make computer games. It's for a new TV station starting up soon, and they need the game to have people to be able to participate by using their own phone from home. Now Ivan, he thought about it for like 1 second, and he said that his company could fix that problem for them. He'll send something in a couple of days with a really good presentation and an idea what it could be. Now Ivan, he wasted no time. He started to find a team that was going to help him to develop this game by hiring freelancers. And some special hardware needed to be built in order the phone to work with it. It needed to receive DTMF tone to work over the phone line to distinguish what button the person is pushing from home. And then the program started, the 11-1, in 1988. It's like many other programs. This is entertainment program. This is where you talk about fun stuff, food, sports, politics, life, and meeting famous people, listening to live performance, something everyone can enjoy from home. But then the moment came, you can call in and participate. What we are witnessing here is the world's first interactive TV game. In order to play this game, you need to have a phone that has buttons on. You couldn't use a phone like this one here. There's no way it's gonna work. Now the clip I just showed you from the television, it wasn't the first aired on television. Now I couldn't find the first one because the first game was actually a single player of OsWald. So the one you just saw was actually the 2-player mode. So just to be clear on that one. Now the success with this game, they quickly made a Commodore 64 version and an Amiga version. But you might know it as OsWald of the Ice Floaters. And they made an expansion pack and called it Super OsWald, which I have right here. And we're going to play the Commodore 64 version. This thing just talked on a Commodore 64. Back then, that is considered to be an amazing achievement. Now, if you're wondering what he said on the computer game, he said, "That was a shame, let's try again." The goal is to get as many of the presents and get to the finish line first. Here I'm playing against the computer. Now there are more different levels and different gameplay, but while we're here, let's hear how the female sounds like. But what does it look like and sound when you lose the game? And here he says, "Oh, the game's over." Now the Amiga version has of course better graphics and is identical as the one from the TV show. And that's how we remember it from the television. Most people only had a Commodore 64. I guess that's why there's not so many versions of the Amiga out there. Now Ivan made one mistake which he will not repeat again. But we'll come back to that later. The magazine added something to the logo, so now it says, "The new computer." And sometimes you come across some funny things like these joysticks and like this hand grenade. The magazine contains a lot of strange commercials and funny pictures, as you can see here. And here it shows us what the future could look like, how we could be talking to each other through the computer with a camera. It's always fun to see old pictures of kids playing computer games and use a TV as a monitor and whatever this is. And then we have LAN parties where you had to bring your entire computer setup over to your buddy's house or get together in a huge place. Here it warns us about piracy is wrong and you will be caught. Here's a funny one, how to get in shape with your Commodore 64. And we get our updates of new computer games coming, which we love to look at. The magazine shows us how the professional use a tablet, and now you can afford it for your computer at home or as a mouse. Yeah, let's try another one. Oh wow, do you guys remember this? This was on DR television, Labyrint, or as you call it, Labyrint. The TV host was a very famous guy. His name was Kim Schumacher. He was a special guy for Denmark. He made the game show fun and interesting to watch. That he actually became the show itself.
Ligner en idiot nu.
Det holder vi for os selv.
And now to the game. This is a two-player game. Each contestant has to guess what the question is, which could be anything. When they guess correctly, they get to go forward and collect. But if an opponent answers the question wrong, they lose a turn and it becomes the other opponent's turn.
Vi går til højre.
That means time is up. And then they have to see who has the most points. And you win prizes throughout the game. Now the winner has to go through the labyrinth. By wearing these yellow boots, she doesn't know where the walls are, so she depends on her partner to guide her through the labyrinth. Every time they touch the wall, they lose 25 seconds. Some win, some don't. What's this? As a new subscriber, you will get the labyrinth game completely for free. And you have to put on a marker on which one you want, the Commodore 64 or the Amiga. As we can see in front of the cover, there's the game. Gee, this game is so rare, I guess we'll never get to play this one. Oh wait, I have one right here. I chose the 5 minutes limit in this game. And the goal is to collect as many of the points and answer the question correctly and try to get to the center. And here is the question. Who played Rambo? Well, the answer is A, of course. The door opens and you proceed. What is silos? Now there's a time limit, or if you guess wrong, it shows you what the correct answer is. And you lose a turn and it's your opponent's move now. Time's up. The 5 minutes has gone by. And the winner is blue. Here you have to go through the maze and get to the center, but you don't know where the walls are. And every time you hit the wall, you lose 25 seconds. And we won, with 2 seconds to spare. And we're just gonna write our name. Now there is an Amiga version where the graphics and sound are just as good as from the TV show. The game was developed by Interactive Vision and the magazine presented the Labyrinth video game to us. If you want to see the Labyrinth shows, there's a special link I put in the description you can go to where you can see most of the episodes. Now remember to deactivate your ad block or else you can't see the shows. The sad part is, Kim Schumacher died in 1990 and we all still miss him, still to this day. Now, a couple of years later, a CD was made in honor of him. Now for every CD that was sold, 2 Danish crowns goes to the AIDS Foundation. The CD contains him speaking, which they probably got from when he was doing radio. And the songs they added here were probably some of his favorites, I'm guessing. Now I'm still waiting for them to make a movie about his life. Interesting picture. It came from the desert. I've never actually played this game before. I should give it a try one day. And now we have the ability to scan pictures into the computer. And then there was this handheld scanner. It was terrible to use, so I'm glad it vanished from the market. Seeing a printer that could print out colors, at the time it was amazing and everyone could buy one now for their home. A wireless mouse. Interesting. One of the things I like about this magazine is it contains programs. And you have to manually write in the line of codes in order for the program to work, of course. Like I said, something for everyone. The magazine shows what the musicians can use the Commodore for. And there was some add-ons that you could buy for your Commodore 64. And some better programs for the Amiga to work with sound. And then we get introduced to Deluxe Paint. This is a game changer. This gives you access to create amazing graphics art and create video game characters and backgrounds for the game. And today we have Photoshop, the most powerful tool to work with pictures. We have come a long way, haven't we? And here, look at this. Remember the movie Independence Day? This magazine was giving you a glimpse into the future, being in the professional area of making 3D. And right here, even Pixar is showing up for the first time. And you can tell they're up to something big. The magazine actually helps people to start their careers by finding out where the places are in the country. Now today you can actually use a program called Blender. It is a 3D program that is completely free. Virtual reality. Now we're talking about sci-fi. I actually got a chance to see one of these in Copenhagen as a kid, and it looked really futuristic back then. And now I have my very own. Do you remember when I told you that he made one mistake? Well, he didn't have a contract with the people he gathered to make the game OsWald, because they were freelancers, and for that he didn't have the rights to the sound or the graphics that he hired to make. Because of that, he had to put the OsWald game in the drawer. Which is why it's a good idea to always have a contract made. But the team that he made chose to be his competition. And now his company was in trouble. But he gathered a new team to come up with good ideas for a new TV game. Now before they start doing anything, he made them sign a contract that will guarantee him 100% of all the rights to whatever they come up with. By doing this, they will get good pay and bonuses. Now they kept on brainstorming about a troll in the forest of what was he doing there? What was he going to say? They did lots of sketches and graphics design and some sound effects, and there had to be explosions and a good ending to what was he going to say, because that was one of the successful of the OsWald game. They presented it to Nordisk Film, and Nordisk Film loved the presentation. That they loved it so much that they signed the contract on the spot. After just 2 days of celebration of getting the contract, their competition was trying to buy their programmers and graphics designer away from Silver Rock Company by offering them 50,000 Danish crown each. Back then, that was a lot of money. Man, business is tough. By the way, you still haven't figured out which game I'm talking about? The Hugo game is being shown on television for the first time in 1990. And this was a huge successful that it took the team by surprise.
Hop, 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 hop. Der var det ikke hurtigt nok, mig.
Hvor skal vi hen, du?
Now she has to make a decision. Does she go right or left? She pressed 4, therefore she goes left.
Nå, hvad med et kort? Der kom kortet.
Now I want you to hear the people who are in the studio who are following this game and hear how excited they are about this game.
Spring igen, hop, 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 hop. Godt, og en gang mere, hop. Ej, hvor er det flot. Og hop igen, hop. Hop. Hop, hop. Hop. Nej.
Forsvinder dog fra.
Og hop igen, hop, hop, hop.
Now a lot of people at home are following this TV program and they're jumping out of their chairs all because of this game.
Nummer 3.
Du bare guld værd.
du mere til nu, Maj?
Ja, ja.
But as we all know in the world, it didn't stop there. When other countries heard about this game, they wanted in. Every company called him and they wanted the license to manufacture and produce toys, sheets, masks, anything you could think of. And he licensed it to 44 countries to do their own Hogo TV show, of course with their own language. And let us not forget, the most important thing is the video game. And I happen to have the Commodore 64 version right here. Let's try it. Now, just like the TV program, if you wait a little, he'll knock on your computer screen.
Hello, er nogen hjemme?
Every time you use the map, you lose 100 gold. Now we're gonna see what it looks like when time is up. The game ends and you have to start all over again. But I'm going to show you what it looks like in level 2 and level 3 in this game. Now I'm going to pick door number 3, just like from the TV show. Oh no, I picked the wrong door. Ah, so close. Maybe next time I'll get that goal. Now this was the Commodore 64 version, but the Amiga version is the same quality as the TV version. Now times are changing and the magazine has to follow with the times, so they're changing the name to Private Computer. And as you can see here, they changed the logo by removing that distinct look it had that gave you that feeling that this is a Commodore and Amiga magazine. And the reason is PC was becoming more popular than Commodore and Amiga computers. But the magazine continues to give us great information about the new stuff like CD, DVDs, and the new game consoles from Sega and others. But the magazine had to change the name once again to Private Computer PC because of the internet is coming and everyone had to get on board and get ready. Even the new operating system, Windows 95, was coming out. Let's look at the magazine and see what the PC can do for us. Well, I see Duke Nukem 3D and Command & Conquer Red Alert. I think we all played Red Alert a lot back in the days. Syndicator Wars. Well, I loved the first one. Oh look, Interplay is making a new game called Fallout, based on the GURP system. Gee, I hope it's going to be a good game when it comes out. The magazine continues to give us great information and new games and new hardware, all that great new stuff. But due to other companies was also publishing their own magazines, so the competition was getting harder. Most people consider the computer magazine to be only about the past, about the Commodore and the Amiga. It could be one of the reasons why people are moving on to the PC more. And then it all came to an end. The magazine discontinued 2006. The magazine merged with OsWald Data, and today people prefer to be on a web browser anyway. And OsWald Data is still around here today. I put a link in the description so you can check out their website. If you're interested in reading and seeing all these pictures of this magazine, There's a special website that you can go to and you can actually download each one of them. You just press this link that says download. You can now read and see all the pictures from this magazine on the browser. Now I left a link down there so you can go to this site and see the magazines for yourself. But beware, there are some magazines that are missing and it says unavailable. It could be because they don't have the magazine or they haven't uploaded it yet. And if you happen to have some of these missing magazines, I highly recommend that you contact these people to help them out to preserve history so we all can enjoy them. I have this magazine which they don't have, and I'm going to scan this in as a high quality, as a PDF, and I'm going to send it to them if they want it. Now I know I left out a lot of things like important people and important companies, but I wanted the focus to be mostly about the magazine and the person who started the whole thing.
Hvad der sker og sådan noget. Så kom der en lille tegning ind fra, jeg tror hun hed Maria, og så siger Nina Klinker der, ej, vi har fået en tegning ind fra med Hugo her, så vi har lavet en lille t-shirt til hende, så vi vil gerne opfordre alle børn i Danmark til at tegne Hugo. Mm-hmm. Så kom der 6 postsække ind ad døren.
Thank you, Ivan, for giving us great memories of the 80s and in the 90s. If you're wondering if this is the last time I'll talk about game magazines, I got more. I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.